Did you know that everybody smiles in the same language? And today on Western Trading Post TV, we are all smiles. We are going to be visiting with world famous cowgirls. We're going to be learning about what is hot in Western fashion. We are going to be getting to see a collection from a famous Hall of Fame cowboy and stuntman. And of course, we're going to be buying, selling, trading, and auctioning. So hold on to your hats, enjoy the ride, and share a smile.
Hi, Bobby Jean.
My girl, what are you doing?
I'm here to see you.
All the way from West Texas A&M?
I am.
Coming back to our special little town, huh?
I am home.
What have you been up to?
School.
Do you love it?
I do. I love it now. It took a minute, but I love it now.
I'm so proud of you. Oh, I just saw an article in a pretty major magazine about Western fashion by you. Congratulations.
Thank
Tell me
you.
a little bit about it.
So I write for Cowboy Times magazine now, and you started me on my first magazine ever. So now I'm in a glossy print magazine, and I get to talk about all kinds of things. My last article was on Urban Cowboy. Big fan of the 70s.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
And you are heading to Vegas.
I am.
Tell me about your fabulous job opportunity.
So last year I went and did the fashion thing, and this year I'm more of official job title with Pro Fantasy Rodeo and Rodeo Vegas. So you need to come over and party with us one night.
You know I probably will.
You need to. I'm going to be waiting for you.
So what are we going to be seeing as some of the hottest fashions at the 2018 NFR?
Well, as you can see, I brought my hat, and I wore it this summer in Cheyenne, but it needs a little bit of revamping, so I'd like to put some pins on it.
Okay, so you're saying pins are going to be hot with the hats?
I think they are. We're very more Old West.
Okay.
You know, our true turquoise, our leather skirts. I think it's not a trendy look. It's more of a original, authentic Old West look. I'm excited.
So you are like truly promoting your real Western rodeo roots.
I'm wearing a wild rag in my hair, actually.
Oh, I love it. So we need to hook you up with some pins. Hey, Rowdy, can you pull some pins out for us? Here, get these Fred Harvey era, and I think there's some others right over here.
Don't forget concho belts.
Oh, concho belts, they are very hot
and we've
right
got
now.
conchos on the hat.
Now, you said 70s era. I do have some, I have some 40s, 50s,
Okay.
60s, 70s, very Navajo style.
I do.
Matches this beautiful squash blossom,
It
which
does.
looks very familiar.
It does, because you sold it to me.
It's perfect.
Thank you. I saved for this for a long time.
I know you showed at the county fair every
did.
single year for
All
that.
those goats, they bought me this.
It was worth it, huh?
It was.
So we have some of the 70s era.
Well, you know, I like that big one.
Oh, really?
They say the bigger the better.
Oh, well, they say go big or go home.
Go big or go home.
Okay, so we have like a big pin for...
Maybe a little too big.
Maybe a little big.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's check it out here. There's some great Fred Harvey era
Okay.
pins. Do you see anything that kind of catches your eye?
Well, I mean, all of Fred Harvey catches my eye.
Of course, mine
You
too.
know that. Let's see. What about something like this with a little shape?
Oh, that would be gorgeous.
You know, I always learn a lesson here, too. You taught me that I have Fred Harvey on today, and I didn't even know it.
You do have some Fred Harvey.
I didn't even know it.
And did you know that the Fred Harvey era was from 1900 to 1955? Okay, look at that on your hat.
Oh, I think we love it. Do we love it?
I think it's spectacular.
I think it's what we needed.
And I think that it will just fit in perfect at the NFR,
I do
girlfriend.
too.
And I will be calling you because we may be doing some fashion shows while we're there together.
What are you getting me into, Bobby?
It'll only be good stuff. You know that.
I do know that. I do.
Well, you check out with Grammy.
I will.
And I will be calling you in a week or so, and then I
Okay.
will kind of surprise you with some fun goodies.
Okay.
I love you, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, what you doing?
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, somebody sent some rugs in for the auction. We were just looking at them right quick, and I'm gonna keep these two, and then I'm gonna send this one back.
Why that one?
Well, I'll tell you. First off, this one is a Hopi rug. You know, it's a Hopi kilt actually. Hopi kilts are pretty rare, so that's pretty cool. You know, you can tell by the weave and the way it's the pattern there. This one is an authentic Navajo rug. It's pretty brightly colored, but you know, still you can tell by the fuzz that it's, you know, hand carded wool, and it's got the traditional side salvage on it here, so we know for sure that it's a Navajo rug. But this guy here, it's an Indian rug.
That's what we want to.
Well, but it's from India.
Oh.
That's the problem.
Okay.
This is a southwestern style rug. You can tell by the big old cords here on the edge, but there's many telltale signs that let me know that this was made in India and not an authentic Native American rug.
Okay.
So those are not what we carry here in the store, but we definitely will take these ones in.
Well, I'm gonna write that down in my little notebook and put that in my mind.
All right. See you later. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about Turquoise. If you've been around Turquoise very much or shopped for Turquoise, you've probably heard some terms used like natural turquoise, stabilized, enhanced or treated turquoise, block turquoise, fake turquoise. Now, just what is the difference in those terms? Well, we're going to try to clear that up a little bit for you today. We'll start with natural turquoise. Natural turquoise is the highest and best turquoise. It's basically a piece of turquoise that is not been enhanced, stabilized, treated in any way. It's just how it came out of the ground. When you cut a cabochon from a piece of natural turquoise, it takes a nice polish and it, you know, it doesn't have any stabilization or treatment to it, and it's the highest and most expensive on the turquoise scale. Now, you can also have a rough piece of turquoise like this rock right here, but it has been stabilized and color enhanced, as you might tell. This turquoise here, when you cut it, puts out a cabochon similar looking to this, but it's not quite as valuable as a natural piece because it has been color enhanced and stabilized. Most turquoise actually needs to be stabilized because it's a little too soft for gem grade and for using in jewelry. A lot of people confuse natural turquoise with real turquoise. So this piece of stabilized turquoise is real, but it's been stabilized, but it's definitely not natural. Natural turquoise has no treatments done to it, no chemical alterations or whatever. Block turquoise, on the other hand, is simply, it's probably soft turquoise that's been ground up and compressed with a resin. It's half resin, half turquoise. They turn it into a block. They take machines and make little cabochons out of it. Unfortunately, it is used in a lot of lower end jewelry, and it takes a trained eye to tell the difference between the block and the real stuff. One thing that you should avoid at any cost is fake turquoise. Unfortunately, there's a lot of fake turquoise out there. This tray right here on my left side it looks like turquoise, but it's not. It's actually dyed howlite and other white rocks that have been dyed. And we've cut a few of them open, and unfortunately, they're white inside. There's no turquoise value in stuff like this. Unfortunately, on social media sites and places like eBay, I often see this kind of turquoise, which a trained eye can spot, and it's being sold as real turquoise when in fact it is not. The other thing that I see a lot is stabilized turquoise being called natural because they're confusing the term natural with real. So, as always, you should deal with a reputable dealer who knows what they're talking about and will stand behind what they sell. And that has been today's helpful hint from Western Trading Post.
You know, you never see me working around the turquoise because I just get too blue around it.
Oh my gosh, it is
Hi.
so good to see
Hey,
you.
who
Good
we
to
got
see you,
here?
Jane. Oh, hey.
Anne is
Hi.
back.
Hey, good to see you, Jim.
Good to see
Yeah.
you.
I'm glad to be back.
Well, so much different than the very first time that you were here when you were in a truck and a trailer full of items.
Right.
She flew in this time and just brought a few
This is all?
items.
Last time
for
we
the
unloaded
auction.
for an hour.
Right. Traveling a little lighter this time. Yeah.
So we just are so grateful that you're here bringing some fun item. So tell us a little bit about like the hat.
Okay. Well, my dad was Mel Lambert, and he was known as a rodeo announcer and also was involved in film and some other fun things along the course of his travels.
Your dad was actually a world famous cowboy.
Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
being a little modest.
He was inducted into the Cowboy Hall of Fame, the Stuntman Hall of Fame. How many other halls of fame was he
Well,
inducted into?
he was very proud to be in the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame and also some of the rodeos that he was very fond of, such as like the St. Paul, Oregon Rodeo Hall of Fame, the Salinas, California Rodeo Hall of Fame. And so, yeah, he traveled extensively and made lots of friends and friendships along the way. So.
Absolutely.
and was one of the top announcers,
Yeah.
rodeo
Right.
announcers, wasn't he?
Right. He started in 1940 at the Sisters Rodeo in Oregon. When the announcer didn't show up, he decided to step up and give the mic
Okay.
a try, and that led to a 50-year career in announcing rodeos.
And he was a huge entertainer,
He
from
was.
what I've heard.
He loved to
which
entertain.
Didn't that lead to his stuntman and acting career?
Right. He started out doing a lot of stunts and horse falls, those type of things, in a lot of the old westerns and having some parts in some of those shows. And later he went on to work throughout his life in film. He worked with various documentary filmmakers such as Keith Merrill and Phil Lucas. He worked with producers and directors such as Milos Forman, Michael Douglas, Saul Zaentz. He was heavily involved in the making of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So he was involved in a lot of projects over the years, yeah.
Well, and so tell us a little bit about this hat right here.
Yeah, this is a great thing that's been in the family for a long time, and I know as kids we used to want to play with this hat, but
It's
Dad
huge.
It is, and that's one of the reasons we love to want to have a turn with this hat. And it's probably from the very late 50s or early 60s,
Yeah.
and it was a hat gifted to my father from his dear friend Slim Pickens. And Slim had, of course, done a lot of work in film, character actor, was recurring off and on
Yeah.
series such as like Bonanza. So his friend, Slim's friend, Dan Blocker, gifted this to my dad.
Okay.
Dan
The
Blocker,
huge
yes.
mountain man,
Yeah.
Dan
Rest-
Blocker.
It looks kind of small.
You know, Dan was a big guy, as I understand, and he has a big hat.
I've got to do it.
Go for
Okay,
it.
okay. Ah!
Right, I understand from my father that part of the situation with this hat is that Dan, when he would sometimes do his riding scenes, he wanted to have a little extra protection for his head and would sometimes have a small helmet under the hat.
Okay.
So I understand that may be
Okay.
part of the reason that it's so big.
Yeah.
It is a size 8.5. So.
Wow.
Do you have some provenance we could put with the hat, you know, tying Slim Pickens to your dad? And all?
Yeah, my dad was lifelong friends with Slim. I brought a couple of photos from
Okay.
their early days in, I think, doing a radio show.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish I knew more of the story with that, but that was
how
probably in the
fun.
early
It's got
50s.
him held up, look.
Oh, and I love
Yeah.
this one. Look.
Right. They had a lot of good times during their years together, traveling and rodeoing
Yeah.
and working
That's cool.
together. They also worked together in the movie The Big Country with Gregory Peck. They both did stunt work
Oh,
in
that's
that
a
film.
great movie.
Well,
Right.
and it wasn't uncommon to always have famous people at your house, was it?
No, it actually wasn't. We kind of never knew who was coming through the door, much to my mom's dismay sometimes. But yeah, we had many people, good friends over the years, people like Ben Johnson, Roy Rogers,
Sure.
Monty Montana, of course, Slim.
Yeah.
Great people, and we always enjoyed spending time with them.
What else did you bring us?
Well, look at this.
Just a couple of quick things. This is a Luis Ortega rawhide bolo.
That's by Louis Ortega.
It's Louis Ortega. Yes, I knew him as
Wow.
Louis. He was a fixture at the California Rodeo Salinas. Great man with his wife Rose. And he made this absolutely finely
It's
woven
amazing.
rawhide art. And this
Yes.
is one of his bolos.
That's great.
And what
It's
about
so
the
smooth
bronze?
too when you feel it. The bronze, my dad loved to collect different art, including Western and Native American bronzes. This is just a small bronze. I love it. It's just a great little saddle from an artist out of Montana by the name of Dave Hodges.
Yeah.
And so I just brought that because it's kind of portable and
Bronzes do
yeah.
well always.
Yeah, they do.
Good.
You know, Anne, it is such an honor and blessing to be able to showcase these amazing items that were tied to such a phenomenal gentleman. He was a veteran.
He's very patriotic.
He was an ambassador for rodeo and the Western lifestyle, and for so many Native American friends.
Yes, he was an advocate for years for his dear Native American friends.
That's great.
And he was very passionate about this way of life.
We're honored to have handled so many of the items already
Yes.
and these as well.
Well, I'm just very blessed to have been able to make your acquaintance last year and have a chance to work with you guys on rehoming some of our things that we've been, you know, very fond of over the years. So thank
Well,
you both.
we'll do a good job. Let's write them up.
Okay.
All right, we'll
All
get her
right.
done.
Thank you, Jim.
We are here in the Western Heritage Room with Vicky Christensen O'Shields. Does that name sound familiar? Well, it should. Vicky Christensen, a world famous trick writer. You know, when I knew Vicky, or when I even saw what she was doing, I had Dolly Parton here, and I had Vicky Christensen here. She was one of my superheroes, and I watched all of the amazing things that you did, your trick writing, your modeling, your acting. I mean, you were my superhero. And then I had the honor and blessing to get to personally meet you, work with you, and learn from you. You are one of God's angels, and you are truly one of the most amazing ambassadors for rodeo and the Western lifestyle. When did you get started rodeoing and trick riding?
Oh, Bobby Jean, thank you so much. First of all, it's such a pleasure to be here because you are carrying on that Western lifestyle and bringing it forward to younger generation of cowboys and cowgirls. And I can't tell you, that makes all of us in this walk of life so happy. We are so blessed by you. I started trick riding, oh gosh, later on, really in life. I rode on the ranch, used to follow my dad into the rodeo arena when he took his introductory runs on my pony, and just grew up at Christensen Brothers Rodeo Ranch in Eugene and Roseburg, Oregon, and that's where it really got started. Now, as far as the trick riding, Bobby Jean, we had stock that we took to the California Rodeo in Salinas, California, and they called one day and he told my dad, he said, "Bob, we're short a trick rider, do you know?" And I'm like, "Dad, I can do it, I can do it." And I had a saddle, I found an old saddle, and so I was there, and my cousin had toured with Tony Aguilar, and she had fallen out of a hippodrome stand in Mexico City, so she was back at the ranch that winter, and we were just kind of talking back and forth, and it's like, let's put a troupe together. So that Salinas Rodeo was 2 weeks away. I grabbed a pickup horse out of the string because we only worked a straightaway, and I knew that Sonny, my dad's old horse, was used to cowboys crawling all over him, so he would brace me. He worked out well, and it just took off from there.
And then you went on to be a rodeo queen, Miss Rodeo Oregon, and compete in the Miss Rodeo America competition.
I was very blessed to represent the great state of Oregon, and that was way back in the day when Miss Rodeo America was held in Las Vegas, and the very talented and beautiful Pam Martin, who is now Pam Minnick, my dear friend of 46 years, won the title. And we just had so much fun. And once that year was over, then, it was back on the road with the rodeo company and choreographing opening ceremonies and that type of thing.
And then you rodeoed, you helped with anything that the Christensen Brothers Rodeo needed. Plus, you modeled, you did acting. I mean, you were the billboard for the perfect cowgirl. And that's how I remember you,
Oh,
was
gosh.
doing all those amazing things. And then you got married, you had a family, then you started your buckle business.
Right, the buckle business, once the rodeo lifestyle was done and the ranching was behind my family and everything, I wanted to find a way, Bobby Jean, to stay in contact with the rodeo family. And it was a natural vehicle, the trophy buckle business. I founded Tres Rios Silver in 1997. And to this day, we build trophy buckles and awards. And my son Brett, his wife Keely, and Pecos Tatum are now in charge at Tres Rios.
And that is like the cutest little cowboy in the whole world. And you guys make some of the most amazing buckles, like one of my favorite buckles that you honored me with. And then tell me about this buckle.
Well, Bobby Jean, it was an honor to build this buckle for you because you wear it so well and you represent everything. You shine like the stones in this buckle every day, dear. But this buckle here, this is what, it's kind of a vintage buckle, actually. We took it off a pattern of a world champion buckle from the 50s, and we recreated it, changed it up some, and made it for an association in Texas called the Ultimate Calf Roping. But the neat thing about this buckle is that my grandson Pecos Tatum won this buckle, and so
It makes it
so special. Grammy built it, and Pecos won it. So,
Well, guys, I just have to share with you again that this amazing lady is truly one of God's angels. She is one of the most amazing ambassadors for rodeo and the Western lifestyle. Each and every day, she leads by example. She does what's right. She treats others the way she wants to be treated. And all I can say is you have been such a blessing in my life. I have learned so much from you. And I thank God each and every day that you're my life, and I can't wait to learn so much more from you.
Bobby Jean, love you.
The Vicky Christensen O'Shields.
We were sitting on the third